Welcome to this episode of the Gear Shelf. Today we're going to be building the Blackmagic 6K Pro kit. I want to do this 2-cam setup so I can really showcase all the different moving parts and to explain what each of them does. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with the main camera. Now, of course, this is the Blackmagic 6K Pro build. This has the Tilta cage on it with the Tilta SSD holder with the Tilta cable. I leave all the port covers on it because I'm crazy. Also just because I kind of get scared and I like to protect my ports. I have a right angle adapter and then I also have this SSD cable. Let's get straight to business. Let's start with media first, I would say is important. The beauty with this build is you could start shooting technically with just this in a lens if you really wanted to. And so this all kind of builds up to become a giant symphony. Before we get started building everything else, the tools we have today is the Small Rig multi-tool as well as a Leatherman. This has pliers, this has every Allen wrench I need on this build personally. Right here we have the Tilta base plate. I personally love this base plate, but it was well worth it. And it technically sits on this little sled, slides into place like that, solid. I normally have my Manfrotto 502 plate on the bottom of here for my tripod, but I'm using that for my phone right now. In the case here, we got 2 small rig rails, so we'll just go like this for the camera's sake. And we'll put the second one in right here. And we'll just tighten her down. And that looks pretty good. Let's start with the top handle next. So this is a small rig top handle. This is a one that has NATO capability. I know I'm technically like cross branding because I'm having small rig and Tilta, but I like merging the two because I think there's benefits from each companies and I like working together. I don't really mind it too much and I feel like they still look pretty good. This is what the top handle looks like. Pretty clean. I really like how it looks. Now let's work on power. So for power, we have this small rig base plate. I went with this one with a dead plate because it was $100 cheaper, but also this moves around. And so that really allows me to be able to control where I want my battery at all times, which has been a problem when you have one that's straight up and you have a screen that you have to deal with. So yeah, we take this battery plate right here and we're going to simply slot it in like that. And then we're going to put it on. Now, as you can notice, you probably have already noticed, it's pretty back heavy because there's no lens on it and I don't have that Manfrotto plate. So we're gonna grab a lens. In this case, we're gonna use my handy dandy Canon 24-105 f4L with IS. The reason why I went with this lens is I want the tighter focal length. So I wanted the 24-105. I wanted image stabilization because this camera doesn't have it. And that leads you with this, so you get f4, which I get a lot of weird looks in 2025, but it's fine, I don't really care. Now let's move on to the monitor. So the monitor for this build, we are using the Atmos Shinobi 2, my favorite monitor. I love this thing. I'm gonna do a dedicated review on this, but this just screws into this monitor mount on the top, which I love. Now, one thing to note is this monitor mount is left on my top handle, but these are 2 separate pieces. And so I'll have everything linked down below, but you screw this in with RE locating pins and it creates this flush dynamic. Now, another thing to note that's important, let's talk about batteries. So as you'll notice, I'm actually going to use NPFs on this monitor. And I know that might be weird, and it is kind of weird. Blackmagic has this funny thing that when you power the camera and the monitor off the same battery, then you have to power them off in a certain way or you can fry the HDMI port. So I've just kind of decided, you know what, not to risk it. I have a lot of assistants on set and stuff and I don't want someone to like fry my camera. So I've really just decided at this point to just power them separately. Personally, I also was kind of raised this way because it increases the weight of your build on these lighter cameras. So it like balances out, and when I'm like running around the city and filming stuff, it's like really awesome. So I don't mind it. Final part is going to be the Tilta follow focus. So this is the Tilta basic follow focus. This goes in right here and goes in to the top. And you kind of just tighten that down. If you can see that, hopefully. and then you can just grab focus. I love this thing. This is like my favorite thing ever. It really helps out when you're in a pinch. All right, final stuff is gonna be cables and mic. So we're gonna start with the mic first. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. I got it for free, and so I use it, but I probably should not because it's so big on the build. So as you've noticed, this is just basically for scratch audio, by the way. I don't really use this for anything else. So you screw that in on the side, and the reason why I do it on the side is because I want access to all my buttons and I don't want anything blocking it. And then I have the monitor up top. So this is kind of monitor, you have like SSD, mic, and then you have everything else here, which is kind of an odd look, but I don't really care. You know, I get weird looks all the time, but the image is what kind of speaks for itself. So we're gonna plug that in. Now we're gonna work on plugging everything else in. Right here, you'll notice this is a dead plate. Anyway, I didn't really feel like the need for getting a dummy plate because I only own one V-mount right now, and I don't really care just powering the camera through it. So right here, we're taking this Condor Blue cable. This is very important. Condor Blue makes the best cables, in my opinion. And like, they seriously are my favorite. So I only buy them, and they have like a good warranty. They have this ugly light though, that I'm not a fan of. Sometimes I wrap it around this way, and for today, we're going to do that because I feel like it. And then this is where we have the funny port situation that is kind of ugly. Because I like to keep these covers on, it makes it kind of ugly to plug everything in. Boom. Now let's get the wires for the monitor going. So the monitor has a backside HDMI port. So we're gonna go right here and plug it in. And then you can't even see what's going on. But then you're gonna go in here and plug in the other side to this cable. Sometimes I clip this, but because it's already kind of like springy, I kind of just like leave it right there, which I know, it looks kind of weird and it's a cable mess, but it's fine. So now that you have that fully built out rig, this is what it looks like. Now, my philosophy behind the battery is interesting because you want to be able to access this monitor for like settings and stuff, but sometimes you want to be nimble and you want to be able to like hand hold if I'm like shooting a fashion ad or something. So I just kind of tilt that like back there and I like how that feels. It's all very well balanced, but this is kind of how I complete the full build. This is a rundown of how it all works. It's mainly a toolless assembly, which I really like because all these pieces are already assembled and I have a NATO rail. So the only thing I really need to screw is sometimes this hot shoe and tightening down the monitor, which I don't think is that big of a deal. But yeah, that's just kind of how I went from my Pelican to a fully built camera. So if you have any questions, let me know and I'll see you in the next one.